what's up? I'm Arya and welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be basically talking about my top 10 favorite classic novels, and of course I'll be recommending it to you. So if you wish to start reading classics and you want a perfect recommendation, this is your video, so make sure you watch it till the end. Now I've read quite a lot of classics and loved majority of them, and if I start making a video on each and every one of them, it will be endless. So I decided to select my top 10 favorite ones from the ones I've read till now, and yeah, I'll be recommending it to you guys. So make sure to watch the video till the end, and without any further ado, now let's get in the video. So the first book is The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. Now this book actually talks about innocence and identity and teenage rebellion, also the superficiality of the society as a whole. So it is a very interesting book, and actually it was even initially intended to be read only by adults, because in a way it encourages rebellion in the teenagers. And also the main protagonist, he does not use a very good language, he uses a bad language, so it was not intended to be read by adolescents. But I think if you wish to go for it, you should definitely read it, because the themes which it covers are very powerful and very meaningful. So I think every person should definitely give it a read, and also it has a superb writing style which I absolutely loved. So yeah. Now the second book is an Indian classic named Malgudi Days by R.K. Narayan. Now this book is a collection of short stories all set in a fictional town of Malgudi, and all the stories are so simple and so graceful. Even the writing style is so easy that if you are a beginner, you can definitely try a classic and be like, yeah, I've read classics. So this is a book which everyone should read according to me. So yeah, it is a lovely book, very sweet and full of fun. So I absolutely loved this book. Now the third book is Animal Farm by George Orwell. So it is basically an allegorical novella and also a satire on the Russian Revolution. Basically George Orwell has used animals as the characters and protagonists. So there's this farm named Manor Farm, and the owner of the farm, that is Mr. Jones, he does not treat his the animals in the farm well. So all the animals, they conspire against him and plan to drive him off, and they take over the farm and thus name the farm Animal Farm. After that, the pigs, who consider themselves to be the most intelligent ones in the farm, take over the farm, and they look after everything and everything that happens inside. So at a point of time, even they start twisting information and does not treat every animal equally. So basically George Orwell has very beautifully described how power and corruption go side by side, and at a point of time, you can't say that I'm in a position of power but I'm not corrupted. So that is very beautiful. Even this book was banned at some after it was first published, especially in Russia, because it is a satire on the Russian Revolution. So yeah, it is a very interesting read, and the language is not very easy, not very tough. It is somewhere in the middle, so you'll enjoy it. Now the fourth book is Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. Now it cannot happen that I make a video on my favorite classic novels and Metamorphosis is not included in that. I absolutely love reading this book. It is basically about a man who wakes up one day to find that he has been converted into a large insect. And since he has been converted into an insect, many people don't talk to him and don't behave with him properly and in a manner that they used to do while he had his powers and his ability, and while he could actually work like a proper human. So it basically shows that when somebody loses his abilities to work and to be useful, people actually start to sideline him, and they don't want to spend more time with that person and stuff. So it basically gives a very powerful message, and at the same time is very fun to read. So I loved this book. Now the fourth book is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Now this is such a lovely book and such an excellent work written by her. It covers such powerful themes such as marriage, relationships and career and power, responsibilities, and that too everything from the perspective of a woman. Also it has been written in such a beautiful manner at the time, when women were not in the position of power and were suppressed mainly by men. So it is a brilliant work written by her, and I think if you really wish to read a masterpiece of literary work, this is the book you should go for. It is an amazing read. Now the sixth book is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Now this book has a lot to explore. The genre is basically, between gothic and tragic novel. So it is very interesting. I think it was published around the 1800s or so, and at that time this book was actually criticized a lot because it questioned and criticized the Victorian ideals, and this book basically talked about every negative thing such as pessimism, envy, hypocrisy and resentment, and basically everything which during the Victorian age people were not allowed to speak or write about. So basically it is one hell of a read and you should definitely read this one. Now the seventh book is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. Now this is a very interesting book. Again, it was published in the 19th century, and the genre lies between gothic and philosophical fiction. Basically in the novel, Dorian is a very beautiful and handsome man, and when he is told about that, he thinks that he should do something to retain his beauty forever. So basically how he plans to stay the way he is forever is through selling his own soul, so that in place of him, his picture or his portrait ages. So we basically get to read in the novel that how his portrait is aging and facing all the corruption and sins in his place. So it is a very interesting novel and definitely worth a read. Now book number 8 is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. So this book basically talks about some serious issues like class issues and racial inequality and rape culture in America, and all penned down by the author through her own personal childhood memories and experiences. So this is basically based on Harper Lee's own experiences, childhood memories. Also where on one hand it talks about some serious issues like loss of innocence and everything. It also on the other hand is full of warmth and very empowering. So if you are looking for such a book, you should definitely get your hands on To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. But this is such a popular one that I feel you must have read it by now, but if you haven't, you should definitely go for it. Now book number 9 is The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. Now this book is basically an autobiographical diary or novel, and was written by Anne Frank while she was 13 years of age. It covers her and her family's experience while they were into hiding during Hitler's regime and at the time of Holocaust. So basically she was a Jew, and the book covers how she along with her family stayed into hiding and also in concentration camps, and how they survived and what all they had to face and what were their experiences. So it is a very sweet but a very emotional read at the same time. So if you want to know stuffs about the Holocaust and the concentration camps and everything, how exactly was the life in a concentration camp, you should go and give this book a read. So yeah. Now the last and the 10th classic novel is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Now this is such an amazing and fun read. I had fun reading it. Basically the genre is gothic and science fiction. So it talks about a scientist, a young scientist who does a weird scientific experiment which goes wrong and thus results in the creation of a hideous monster which is accepted by none. So it is so fun and so interesting to read. Definitely read this one, and this is the book which is the reason that till date monsters or different creatures are given the name of Frankenstein if they are monstrous. So one hell of a read, and you should definitely read this. So that was it for today's video and all my favorite classic novels. Do give them a read, they are amazing, and also they do not have a very tough, writing style or language, except a few of them. So you'll be able to read them very easily even if you are a beginner. Also comment down below and let me know whether or not you did read them, or if you have read any one of them and liked it, which I think you must have. Also, if you like this video, do give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you wish to get in contact with me, I'll leave the links of my social media handles below in the description box. You can go and check them out. And I'll see you very soon with a new video. Till then, keep reading, keep loving.